Hi guys, and welcome to Coffee with My Sunshine. If you would like to join me in making these scrap paper and fabric flowers, then please keep watching. For this first flower, it is going to be super simple. All of these are really simple. I just took a scrap piece of fabric that I had and tore a strip, and it doesn't really matter the size. I would say probably that was maybe 1.5 inches maybe wide. I'm not really sure. I've made them all different sizes, so it doesn't really matter. And then you take the strip and hot glue the edges together long ways like this. And then you want the bottom part, the looped part, down to where you're going to be cutting. And you're just going to cut these little strips. And you can be precise and go ahead and measure them out, but I do not. I just go along and just kind of eyeball it and make a bunch of cuts. And then you're going to need a scrap piece of cardboard that you cut into a circle, however big you want the base of your flower. And then just hot glue the strip that you cut with the little cut pieces facing up, if that makes sense. And then you're just going to hot glue those in a spiral onto the cardboard, going from the outside in. And you want to make sure the edges are kind of standing up like this. And before we get too far into this, I want to apologize for my nails. I did have somebody tell me they could not finish watching my video because they were distracted by my nails. And I know they're chippy. The paint is chipping off. Sometimes I just get really excited to do a video and I don't even think about what my nails look like, so I apologize. After you're done gluing the strip in a spiral, you're going to leave just a little opening in the center for, say, like a button or a bead or whatever you want. I ended up just taking some twine and kind of gluing it into a spiral in the center. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that my Using Trash to Create Treasure Challenge is coming up on Saturday, March 28th. And I know I usually give you a 2-week notice, but I don't know, it kind of got away from me this time. But I really do want to have it right now because I think it is the perfect time. So I thought this would be fun to do right now because we can just use the trash that we have in our house to create treasure. So number 1 rule, if you are new to my challenge, is it is an open invite. All you have to do is use items that you or somebody else would normally throw away in the trash or recycle bin and turn them into something functional or a home decor piece. Number 2, mention both of our names and channels in your video. And my name is Casey from the channel Coffee with My Sunshine. My co-host this month is going to be Julia from the Mug Life DIY. Number 3, list both of our channels and the playlist in your description box, and I will have that ready for you guys on Saturday, March 28th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You also want to put the challenge name somewhere in your title. It does not have to be in the beginning, but put it somewhere in your title. That way this is easy to find if somebody searches for it. And also number 5, have fun with your projects. So for this next flower, you just take a chunk of burlap and you want it to be like rectangle shape. Again, I don't have sizes because I've made these in different sizes, so it doesn't really matter. But you want to start pulling at the middle threads, and in the very beginning, like the first few that you pull, it's kind of hard because it really wants to hang on, but the more you pull out, the easier it is. And those top ones will get loose. You can just pull those out afterwards. But you want to pull all the pieces except for 6 on either side, kind of like this. And then you're going to take some hot glue and hot glue the 2 edges together where we left the strips of burlap pieces. And then you want your loops on the top, just like this. This one is super easy. And if you have any of these stray ones, you can just go ahead and glue them in. And then just take your hot glue gun and start rolling it. And these flowers I think are super fun because they're not hard at all. They're just a little bit of glue and a little bit of fabric or paper. And so after it's all rolled up, you just kind of take it and pull it apart until you like the fullness of it. And I just think it looks super cute and curly. And you can add stems to any of these. It would be super easy to add like a straw or something. And then I'm just using a wood bead for the center. You don't even have to put anything in the middle, but I thought it was super cute like this. And on to number 3, you just take 2 strips of paper, and mine are 2 inches by 11 inches. And then for this part, I did 1/4 of an inch. I would maybe do a 1/2 an inch. Mine turned out fine, but it was a little bit thick when I went to cut it, so I would space those out a little bit, maybe a 1/2 an inch. And then I just took this tool. It's actually a piece or a piece that came in my Arteza clay set, but you can use anything like the tip of a fork or anything that will score these little lines in there so it's easier to fold. And then you just kind of fold it accordion style, just like this. And you want to do the same thing on the other piece. And this is where it was a little bit thick to cut, like it didn't get through all the pieces, but you want to cut on a diagonal so that you get a point on the one side. Like, I don't know if you can tell, kind of like that. And then I'm just using Elmer's glue because I think it'll be easier than hot glue. And it's just the stick kind from like back in school. And then you just take the other one, the other strip of paper that you did the same thing to, and glue them end to end so that the slants that you cut are going in the same direction. Push them together and then add a little bit of hot glue on one of the ends and then connect them. And it will jump out like that. It doesn't really matter. I thought this one was super fun. And then after you've connected them and just pushed them together so that they hold, you just fold it out. So you want the slanted pieces that you cut to be on the outside. And then when you fold it in like that, then you have your little flower. And then I just took the cap from the glue and traced it and then cut it out because it was the perfect size, but you can use whatever you want. And I colored it just because the white was kind of boring to me. And I tried to attach it with the stick glue, but it didn't work, so I ended up using hot glue. For this next flower, you're just going to use some construction paper or whatever kind of paper you have. This is just using up any of your craft stash that you already have on hand. You could probably even get away with using old wrapping paper or, I don't know, maybe even gift bags. I don't know if that would be too thick, but any kind of paper you have, just give it a shot. So then I'm just using this beer or wine glass and tracing the top of it. Again, you can use any size you want. And then after you've done, you really only need 3 circles, but if you're going to do multiple flowers, then trace as many as you want. So then you fold this accordion style as well, and then cut out the circles, and you're going to have extra if you're only doing 1 flower. And I'm just going to let you watch what I do because I think I will screw it up if I try and explain it. For this next one, I am using construction paper, but the inspiration piece I saw was actually using like a crafting foam, but I didn't have it. Like I said, we're using up what we have in our stash since we can't really go out and about to the stores. And my strip was 2 inches long, and this was a long piece of construction paper. Again, you don't need a specific size. The longer it is, the bigger and poofier your flower will be. So you could even take multiple pieces of paper, and then after you're done cutting these little strips, you could glue them together. And actually I talked through that. So all you had to do was fold it and hot glue it like we did the other flower, and then cut the tinier strips than we did with our last flower. And if you end up cutting through like I did, all you have to do is glue it together. And then I'm taking one of those extra circles and cutting it so that it kind of gives the same fringed look as the flower. And then just roll it and hot glue it, and then put it in the center. Put it at the edge of this strip, the blue strip, and roll it while you're hot gluing along the way. And then after you're done, you just kind of fluff it up and make it as fringy and fluffy as you want. For the next flower, I just took a piece of fabric that I had and put some Mod Podge over it and let it dry overnight, because I wanted it to be kind of stiff. And then I took a bowl and traced out a circle. I kind of wanted it to be big. If I do this again, I'm going to be using a bigger bowl, like maybe even a mixing bowl. So then after you've taken and cut the spiral in the circle, you're just going to do kind of like the ruffled edge with your scissors if you want. And then you're going to start with the pointy end, not the part where you left the circle, but you're going to roll that up. And I needed a little tool to get it started because it was so tiny. Oh, and while I was making this flower, I was watching my friend Yami's video. It was an older one, but I like to watch DIYs while I'm doing my own DIYs. But if you get the chance, head on over to her channel if you're not already a fan of hers. She is awesome. Her channel is The Latina Next Door. And if you head over there, let her know I sent you. I guarantee you will love her channel. So anyways, after you've rolled the flower, I like to push a pencil up the center, and I accidentally glued it before I did this, so I had to pull it apart, and so when I pushed it with the pencil, it didn't push it up as much as I liked. But then afterwards, I took the round part that was still hanging at the end and glued the flower, the base of the flower to it, and then glued the piece that was hanging off to the side. For this last one, if you have like a lace, I guess ribbon, that would work best, but I just had a big chunk of lace from, it was actually my grandma's, and I just cut a strip, and you want it like probably 2 inches. This was a little bit big, so I did end up trimming it down. And then you wrap it around your hand. I did 5 times just because I cut it a little too short, but you're gonna want to do it probably 7 or 8 times, because the one there in the background I did, I believe, 7 times, and I liked the size of it better. So then after you've wrapped it around your hand, you're going to take a little rubber band and then wrap it around the center, and you could leave it as a cute little bow. I think that's cute. But if not, if you want it to be the flower, you're going to take your scissors and just cut the edges so that it's not a loop. And then after you've cut the edges, you're just going to kind of go crazy with your scissors, and be careful because I did end up cutting my finger on this one. But you're just going to start cutting like slices in it and like little chunks out, because you want it to be kind of like a shabby chic look. And then once you're done with that, you just take each layer and kind of pull it apart so that it fills in the center, and you can kind of make it fluffy and big, as full as you want. And then after that's done, if you want to leave it like that, that's perfect. It's cute. You can use anything to fill in the center. On this one, I ended up using this little, I don't even know what they're called, but it's something that was in my grandma's stash that she gave me. But it had a cute little dragonfly. But for this one, I'm just using this little gold flower. Like I said, I don't know where this stuff came from, but it's just in my craft stash, so start looking through your drawers. But I attached it with hot glue, and then I'm just taking this food coloring, and I did 1 drop of red with a little bit of water and a splash of vinegar, and then I'm just dipping the very tips of the flower because it will suck it up, so go lighter than you think you should. I think it's super cute and super shabby chic. I really do like how this one turned out. And that was all of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed these as much as I did making them. If you want to see more, I have a ton of other scrap fabric and paper flower ideas. So if you guys have any videos that you would like me to do that you can think of, maybe something you want to use up, let me know. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you stay healthy and positive. I really appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you next time. Bye!